Hello, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S.Chandhok. Today, we are again with very eminent guests from Pan India, and we are going to discuss a very important and a topic, future of education. Without taking any time, I'll introduce you the very first eminent guest. First of all, we have Sayer Saeed ma'am. She is the principal of Hamdard Public School, uh, New Delhi. She has done her schooling from All Saints College, Nainital, and Canossa Convent Girls Inter College, Faridabad, Faizabad. She has also done
Elba.
her master's in economics, gold medalist, English, and is an MH with over 24 years of experience in the field of teaching, administration, and management of school activities with reputed organizations like City Montessori School, Lucknow, Kansova Convent, GIC, and Tini Tots Senior Secondary School, Faizabad. She believes that there are two ways of spreading light, one by being the candle or by being the mirror that reflects it. She had been the CBSE city coordinator from Faizabad, Sultanpur, and Pratapgarh, and has coordinated with over 70 principals in 3 districts related to assignments. She has been the president of Faizabad Sahodaya Complex, School Complex, Center Superintendent for CBSE Examination, Chief Nodal Supervisor for Spot Evaluation, and Member for Inspection for Affiliation of CBSE schools. And ma'am is so much associated with so many things. I think it will be better we will switch on to ma'am. Ma'am had already been once in our one of our season and episode, and we are so humble, ma'am, that you have taken up your spare time and you come over here. We are having the best of the best principals in our show. We are not going for any principal minded, and you are the best, or you all are the best principals, educators. That is why I mean I can say that you are in the assistant talk show. Uh,
Thank you
uh,
so much.
Ma'am, and we are pleased. I am just because of you people only. I am just because of you people only, because we say that this show is of the principals, by the principals, and for the principals. That and this was the reason I started this. Hemlata ma'am, please can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, yeah. I have. Hope so. I'm audible to you people.
Ma'am, please you please mute yourself, please. Yeah. Coming back to ma'am, sir, ma'am, please in brief let us know about yourself. How did you start up your, you came into education by chance or by choice? Everybody will like to know, those who are here as well as who will be looking into the show. And how
Uh,
did you came into over here at this position in 2022?
oh, thank you. Humbled by your introduction, Mr. Chandok. But education came to me not by choice but by chance. It was my sister, my father. If you see, I was aiming for MBAs, and my basic love was for economics. And then my passion was English, so I did my second MA, and then education while being a teacher, then a teacher facilitator, then a principal, city coordinator, and all that those things that you just said. It is basically I in the first 3 months of my teaching career, I started loving teaching. I started loving the children, and I did not start from the kindergarten or the preschools or primary or juniors also. As soon as I was out of my college, I got class 11th and 12th, commerce students. And commerce batch is supposed to be the most naughtiest batch in a school. It's considered. And like now, this is my 25th year. So I would be celebrating my silver jubilee in my education field of education. And then the love for teaching and became so evident and so it took a predominant side to my career that then I started my career. And from City Montessori School, where I got my major training, 13, 14 years, I was with City Montessori School being a teacher facilitator in Lucknow. Then because, Faizabad plays an evident role in my career also because of my parents. My father is from Faizabad, my mother is from Mumbai, so that connection. And because of some of his ill health, I moved to Faizabad from Lucknow, and there I got an opportunity where I was a principal also, and I got all these like being a president of Sahodaya, Faizabad Sahodaya and all. There again, it was another different scenario altogether. It was a semi-rural kind of a setup, although my school was a very 35-year-old progressive school. So that was another experience. Then destiny brought me to Delhi, which I had not thought I would be a part of Delhi schools. But yes, 3 years back, I came to Hamdard, and it's been a journey which is very enriching, fulfilling, where we talk about being, having moral values, character development, and it's everything that is, service before self. That has been my motto, and I love education. So now it's a choice rather than chance. But yes,
Fabulous.
25 years back, it was a chance.
Fabulous, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. And you had been the neighbor. I'm in Kanpur, and you had been in
Yes,
Lucknow.
yes,
We
yes,
never
yes.
met of all, although Sunita
Mhm.
Gandhi,
No,
ma'am.
I
So I
think I
know.
met you. I have met you in one of the conferences in Lucknow, in one
Okay,
of
yeah,
some
yes,
award
yes, yes,
functions,
yes,
if you
yes. One of the
remember,
yes,
with
ma'am,
Mr.
yes, ma'am.
Balvinder. He was the city
Balwinder.
coordinator for
Right, right,
Kanpur.
right, right, right,
Right,
ma'am.
yes, I
Right.
met you.
That's great, ma'am. Fabulous. And I'm
Mhm.
also a commerce teacher, accounts teacher. I know how the commerce how the commerce students are, because
Yes.
I myself had been the commerce student. I do remember. So that is why it's very easy to deal with them. Today, only a parent with class grade 12th student came to me, and he said he's not listening to me and this and that. Tried to counsel them. Then he said, "Are you a magician?" I said, "I'm not a magician. You don't try to become a father. Rather, you become a friend instead of becoming claiming as a father. So if you will claim, you will never get it. You won't get it. So
Yes, yes. We,
that is the mantra we have to follow. I said I'm into this from last 25 years, so I've been solving this only, especially with the commerce students. Science students don't have time for all this. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome.
Thank you so
Next,
much.
we have Dr. Hemlatha S. Murthy, ma'am. She is a director and principal of WPS Group of Schools, Bangalore. She started her teaching profession in 2002 as senior faculty, Miss Ramaiah Degree College, served for 9 continuous years, simultaneously received B.Ed from Bangalore University MSR B.Ed College. Always wanted to move into higher position, took a decision with the support of her family to register for MPhil from Salim University, from which successfully passed out with 78%, and a thesis on psychosis. This took the route for pursuing PhD from Salim University on tobacco, mosaic virus, TMV, tomato, a common fruit on the longevity of life of the crop under variable zone temperature, which took solid 7 years under. Ma'am, we will like to know this from your word of mouth. Please ma'am, let us know what are your schools named by, and what is this PhD about? Ma'am, now you're on mute. Yeah.
Am I am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present. It's a beautiful evening today. So I would try to tell Chandhok sir for giving me this opportunity, where it's been a tremendous place within a span of time. I agree because I've been hearing about you. I've seen the talk show there on the YouTube. There where I said yes, I will get associated because association is required for principals.
Thank you
Because
so much,
we
ma'am.
each
Thank you so
day
much.
we'll keep growing and we keep learning. As
Mhm.
my thesis was about Vacuum virus, which was a perishable crop and daily usable vegetable or a fruit. We still now have not considered whether it's a fruit or a vegetable. So my passion went on. After that, I got the doctorate, postdoctorate. Later on, I went into the field where I just wanted to engage with children. So there I got the passion of getting into schools and school levels where it would give us the opportunity to interact with child and child mindset. So there were we see I went in a position where I can stand as administrator, see to that how we can give the modulations in the child development and growth. And I've been doing enormous some moderations as well as we've been called as a keynote speaker where I've been giving talks about mindset to be learn. I mean the changes and modulations that is required in the mindset of a child. This is how the things have been going. So 23 years in the field of education. It was my passion that I wanted to enter the field of education, but teaching was not there. I wanted to get into research, but somehow made into the passion of me getting into the stream of engaging children, especially teenagers as well as the primary kids. And it's been going on. I love to do the work. I love to engage with kids. This is how it's going on, sir. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for your kind words as well as coming up to the show. Thank you so much. Next, we have Charu, ma'am. She is the principal of DAV renowned school, DAV Public School, Gurugram. Ma'am is a dedicated educationist, principal of DAV Public School, Uppal South End, Sector 49, Gurugram. Children are the prime focus of all her efforts at school. She sincerely believes that real education lies way beyond books. A postgraduate in education, postgraduate in chemistry from Hindu College, Delhi University, graduate in chemistry honors from the prestigious Miranda House, and B.Ed from the coveted Central Institute of Education, Delhi University, and a trained leader from IIM Ahmedabad. She firmly believes in the constructive and child-centered approach to learning. She has hand-on experience in teaching the senior secondary classes under the CBSE curriculum and 10 years of management experience at the school levels. She is an expert panelist for the nationwide teacher orientation with CIET NCRT. As a resource person and master trainer, she has conducted numerous teacher orientation workshops at different forums like DAV Center for Excellence, CTSR, CBSE, NCRT. And ma'am is also associated with so many associations on national and international level. She's already very famous in Delhi and NCR. As everybody who is from Delhi and NCR, they keep on telling about Charu ma'am. That is why I approached her, ma'am. It's a request. Please come and share some knowledge so that we also get enlightened by your views. And our request, ma'am, finally gave us time to come over here. Welcome, ma'am. And please let us know about yourself. Already people know you, but still, let us know about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chandhok, and that was too much of an introduction. And yes, I come from actually a very humble background, from a very small town, Khetri Nagar. If you have heard of copper mines, Khetri copper mines, my father was working there at Rajasthan. So all my education was there. So a small town girl came to Delhi University, and that how to adjust from a small town into a big city, and that too in Miranda House, Delhi University, and trying to make a position for yourself, making yourself known to people. I think that changed. That was a game changer for me, because I used to be a little very I used to say ha mein ha and all those kind of a person. But my mom was always very strong about the fact that we have to be strong-willed, and we should know how to put our words forward. So at school time, I was a guide, scout guide hote hai na, so I was a guide at school. And then at college, my mom said, you have to take NCC. So I am NCC, ABC, all 3 certificates holder. So I think all these things added on to my grooming that ways, that how to take challenges and move on, take challenges on the face and then move on. That's how I am. And yes, started teaching. And as you were asking, Seher ma'am, was it by chance or choice? So I do not know why, but yes, education, usually you will find people will say it came by chance. Okay, it was not choice, because I still remember, as Seher ma'am was saying, I was just trying to I went back into my days. And after my graduation, one of my friend, she had applied for CIE, the coveted Central Institute of Education. She got a form, and we used to travel daily by youth special Delhi ka jo hai. So and she got a one form for me also. I said, I don't want to fill this. She said, okay, I am filling it. She filled the form for me, and then by chance she didn't get admission. I got the admission. There are only 200 seats, and I got into it. And my mom said, now you have got it, you go into it. I said, no, I don't want to. I want to get into mass comm. So I had got my admission into mass comm in Indian Institute of Mass Comm also. So I wanted to be a TV star or some news reader kind of a person, something related to media. But they say कि जब किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो ना, तो सारी कायनात उसको आपको दिलाने में जुट जाती है. तो शायद कुछ ऐसा ही हुआ. तो अब मैं आपके सामने एक मुझे लगता है
मैम, you are already a star, ma'am. You are already a star. You don't know your value, ma'am. You are already a star.
नहीं,
star,
thank you so
star
much.
in Delhi NCR, and whatever was left.
तो वही हुआ.
जी
तो बस फटाफट मैं बताती हूँ, तो बन गए उसके बाद टीचर। और बट एज विद इन 1 or 2 months आई न्यू दिस इज माय कॉलिंग। मतलब उससे पहले लगता था कि टीचर नहीं बनना है, टीचर तो वही लोग बनते हैं जिनको कुछ और नहीं करना आता है ना, इस तरह से मन में आता था। लेकिन विद इन 2 months आई थॉट नो, दिस इज माय कॉलिंग, वाओ व्हाट अ वंडरफुल प्लेस। Psychology, philosophy, these are, because I'm a science student, we had not never studied all these things. And then there was no looking back. Within 2 months of being there at CIE, I knew that this is my place. And
great ma'am.
here I am.
Great, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you
And
so much.
as I said, that you're already a star
No,
with that, with your children, with your with your
we
teachers,
all are.
with the people all around, and the rest, whatever is left, you're a star now on the coming on this show, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Just joking.
You've made us stars, Mr. Chandok,
Ma'am, I'm just joking, ma'am.
making
How
us feel.
you people have made me a star, ma'am. That is, people will look to me just because of you people, ma'am. Otherwise, who will see this, Sadarji?
Man.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Then next we have Meera Mathur, ma'am. She is the principal of DPSG International School, Ghaziabad, an educationalist with over 25 years experience. See, people are writing about their ages now. I'm not telling anybody, any lady's age. Everybody's writing about 25 years. See, common factor is coming. I'm not relieving any age. With the experience of 25 years, looking to provide children with quality education that focuses on combining the essential qualities of head, hand, and heart, such that they emerge physically fit, mentally resilient, morally strong, and spiritually sound. I would also like to focus on writing fiction, and she would like to focus on writing fiction and course books for children. She is looking for a publishing house that loves children and will aid her in the task of publishing attractive looking books which help children in learning as well as inculcate the joy of reading. We are with you, Meera ma'am, and I'll also talk to a few of the publishers. And hopefully, because you have shown this interest publicly now, hopefully many of the publishers will be there with you because you also have a great experience as a principal and working with a such a good, institution like DPSG International, which is also very renowned in Delhi NCR at least. Welcome, ma'am, and please let us know about your interest about writing, ma'am.
All right. I do remember from the time I could that I just waited for my father to narrate stories to me. So that's been something that was part of my, bonding with him, his stories and how he made things so exciting and how he'd narrate the same thing over and over again, but there would be a newness to it. So that was a beautiful part of my growing up. And the other part was my fondness for dolls. So I used to have a number of them right in front of me. And, he'd given me a blackboard and, a tiny blackboard, small duster and things like that. And I would just line them up and teach them. I did not know that one day I would actually be teaching in class, but I loved that make believe, my mother dressing me up in a mini sari and me just acting like how my teachers used to. I really never thought this would happen, but yes, a lot of interest in literature, a lot of interest in dramatics. I was always on the stage in school and college, whether it is singing or dancing or enacting something. And sometimes even the break times, I used to kind of direct plays also from short stories that I had read, and my friends would enact it, and I was a very strict director. And then in our free periods we used to show them to our class teacher or subject teacher. So these kind of things got blended together. Being the youngest in the family, I was always surrounded by children, my nieces, my nephews. Love for children, books, love for literature, poetry, it all got combined. And sooner or later, here I was in Delhi University pursuing my English honors course. And that is when my juniors used to sometimes come to me and tell me that, "Aaj jo padha wo sab sar ke upar gaya, can you kind of explain it?" And I would do things like T.S. Eliot with them and even parts of Shakespeare. And I realized that I'm able to reach out and I'm able to connect to them. And then soon I did my post-graduation in English again from Delhi University. And I had the best of lecturers. They really brought out everything so alive. So love for history, love for children, love for stories. And that's how I got into teaching and thoroughly enjoyed it. I've actually taught all age groups, but I have enjoyed the most at the +2 level, because that is one age where you can talk about literature and discuss things and observe things. So teaching was definitely something I was always drawn to. Didn't realize it would be a profession one day. And this is something I bless my children with, that enjoy what you do. So, and then administration too, because I read somewhere, a management guru saying that I have a lot of people coming up to tell me and saying that this is not good and that is not good. But I always look for those people who say, this is a better way to do it. And that's how academic administration also came in, because you are not a critic. Rather, you are critiquing things and trying to make things better. So, as an administrator come teacher, the child is the focus, and you want to do everything to bring out the potential in that child. So, here I am.
That's great, ma'am. Fabulous. You, ma'am, I wanted to ask that you had been a strict director. Till now, you are strict. I mean, your teachers might be loving you, but is that love or fear?
Good question. Very good question. I was a very strict director when I was with my friends. I was very strict at the +2 level, definitely, because my subject English is not something that a science student would like to spend much time on in completing the tasks I've done. I can make things very, very interesting for him. They can enjoy my class, but the aftermath of the class is something that they wouldn't want to do. I was pretty strict. As an administrator also, I think I'm more correct and right than anything else. I hope that it is respect that my team has for me rather than fear, because I think that when there is fear, then it's negative, and then it is also not involuntary. I don't think that's a willing person to work with. So I would rather have them respect my integrity and aspire to be real people devoted into education rather than work out of fear or look at the watch and the clock and wait for their time to get over.
That's great, ma'am. Fabulous, ma'am. And people like you, all the principals who are present there, they are the principal makers. You see, you might have seen that so many people who have worked under you as coordinator, all of you who have worked as coordinator, they have become principals now, and you're proud that I am a principal maker also now. That's great, ma'am, and welcome.
I'm proud of that too, because a lot of teachers who have been in the team with me are somewhere or the other in a leadership role too. And that's something really great. We ought to nurture the leadership qualities in children as well as the people who work with us.
Ma'am, that is why you are the one of the best principal in this country, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Varsha Agarwal Rodwalt, ma'am. She is a principal of Ascent International School, Mumbai. Ma'am is a secondary school principal, MYP coordinator, head of diploma program and coordinator, PYP coordinator, PYP and MYP language acquisition coordinator. Ma'am, your resume, your profile is entirely different from the other principals. And ma'am, I think you are in education since 2012. So of the principal, ma'am, hats off to you. You are the youngest one announced now. I am also 25 years plus now. You are the youngest one after Mayank. So, ma'am, I think your profile is something different, which I can't see even, but it's different. You came by choice, by chance, and how you're working up with IB board, which board you're working up with, and how you're enjoying your profession, or you're just, please let us know.
Mr. Chandhok, first of all, thank you so much for reaching out to me. You know, last week when you reached out to me, I felt very privileged being a part of, all these stalwarts here. I feel my journey has just begun, but just from, listening to them speaking for 5 minutes about their journeys has been so enriching. And I'm so looking forward to, actually getting in touch with them again. And I felt very privileged because in Mumbai, sometimes we feel, we are working in isolation. You feel like you're working on an island in the true sense of the word. So just being able to talk to everyone, learn from everyone, engaging in conversation about their journeys is very fulfilling. So thank you for having me. I think I share this common trait with a lot of other people here, by chance. I think that's why we have stuck around for so long. So I am in the field of education for much longer than, of course, it seems. I started my journey as a language acquisition teacher. I'll just give you a very short insight into how it happened by chance, because after I got married, I'm married to a German and I moved to Germany after having done my MBA. I was destined to, I wanted to make it big in the corporate field, but destiny doesn't always give you what you want. And it was a hard time 22 years ago in Germany when you were looking for a job as a brown person. It was not easy. So a lot of struggles, sending CVs to companies, but then you generally get invited only for, the lower or middle management level, because you're not, a white person. So it was hard. And during my search, I came across a language school who was looking for people to teach English to companies. So Bayer is very big in the Cologne area where I was living. And fortunately, I got invited, and got the position, and I was teaching adults. So that's where my journey as a teacher started. And I just found it so fulfilling, because it was, when you teach, whether it's adults or children, you get this instant reaction. It's very rewarding. When you're working towards money, then you have to wait for the profits to come, right? But when you work with kids, then it's this instant joy that you see, or you see a question, or you see disappointment, and you're able to react to that. And that's what I found very, very joyful. So of course, when I was pregnant with my first child, we moved back to Mumbai. I always wanted to have my children here in India. I think the value system that India can give you, there is no other country to beat that. So, and I believed if you live here, you can live anywhere in the world. So, of course, I'm glad today my daughter is graduating from the diploma program. She speaks fluent Hindi. She has a value system. So I'm very happy about that. And then, of course, in 2012, this whole IB kind of wave was coming in. It was schools in Mumbai kind of coming up everywhere. And I just happened to see a bus shelter ad, that it was about a child asking a curious question. And I said, yes, that's what schooling should be all about, asking questions and not about always the teachers giving the right answers. So I went in there, and of course, they wanted a Hindi teacher, and I applied for it and I got the position. So, and then it was no looking back. It was a brand new school. We started with, 13 children and 15 faculty. So you can imagine a huge building, only 15, like 13 children and 15 of us. And then building it layer by layer by layer. That's why you find all the PYP coordinator, the MYP coordinator, the DP. So I've done the entire program, establishing it, getting authorization for it, going through the PYP evaluation. Then 3 years ago, I got the DP into the school, went through the DP authorization. And now, of course, we stand before an MYP evaluation, which happens every 5 years. So that's why you see the mix of all the programs. We are a full IB continuum school now. And I don't think anything in life could have taught me as much as this journey has. So that's where I stand just now, and I'm always learning. And of course, I'm happy to learn with all of you here as well.
Fabulous, ma'am, fabulous. You never thought that you will be coming back to Mumbai and working over here?
No.
So, ma'am,
was not planned.
I would like to ask you, did you ever thought you will come up to S.S.Chandhok talk show?
No.
That's a joke,
I
man.
was
That's
delighted last week. And that's why, when we also had a conversation, I said, it's so wonderful for schools to work together. It's not
Yes,
about
ma'am.
board.
Ma'am, it's a part of joke, ma'am. I'm absolutely sorry. It's a part of joke, like Kapil Sharma says that did you ever thought of coming up to the Kapil Sharma show? So I'm also a little bit inspired. So I had kept this show a very little different. First of all, you should know your principles. That is why I'm giving up plenty of time to introduce the principles, knowing about them. People should know. And you should also tell. You see, you feel very relaxed and very good when you tell about yourself to the people. Thank you so much, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. And we are very pleased because you are the ground level principal who you brought up this IB board school from the scratch till this position. Hats off to you, ma'am. I had been knowing so many principals there in Mumbai, and they had been telling about your work, ma'am. All the best, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a very interesting person, Mr. Mayank Jain. He is the founder and CEO of Easy Schooling. He has obtained a degree of BTech from one of the most prestigious college in India, GCE. While in college, he founded a platform called Easy Schooling that would go on to become the largest admission platform in Delhi NCR. He has helped around 25,000 plus parents in their admissions journey through his Zoom sessions. He also visited 2,000 plus schools across India and consulted and guided them how to boost admissions. He knows the ins and outs of this field like no one else. As I told you all that when I met him in one of the show, I was very pleased to meet him. There's a youngster like him who, like the youngsters, as we were talking, they do not want to come into you education field. They want to move out. They don't want to come into education. He came into this. He had his family business also. After doing, he told me that after doing his, this engineering, he had offers from the companies abroad. But when he came to know about a problem which he faced with his brother, we decided to do this. He started up a company which will be a mediator. It's a very new concept. When any business is going on, you're coming up to the same business, it is fine. But when you're starting up a new concept, that is a challenge. And I feel that the people like him, we should support it all. Welcome, Mr. Mayank, and please let us know about yourself and about easy schooling.
Sure, sure. So thanks a lot, Chandok sir, for inviting me and having the series with me. So you're absolutely right. काफी challenging रहता है. तो initially जब मैं college में था second year में, तो I used to visit schools and security guard जो होते हैं school के वो ही नहीं घुसने देते थे school के अंदर. So how will I meet principals and all those people and start associating schools with the platform of easy schooling? So I have seen that struggle of doing everything from scratch. So I'm very inspired by Varsha ma'am, how she has built her school from scratch, and it's really inspiring and motivating for me to see and share stage with such people. And as well as like I have been talking to Charu ma'am before you entered this show, so I was telling कि DAV sector 49 Gurugram कितना famous school है हमारा Delhi NCR में. So you are absolutely right about that. And like obviously हमदर्द public school, so मतलब जो सारे दिल्ली एनसीआर मुंबई यहाँ पे जितने भी आपने स्कूल लीडर्स बुलाए हैं, ऑल ऑफ देम आर वेरी फेमस इन पेरेंट्स. आई वुड से मतलब जितना मुझे नॉलेज है, आई एम वेरी मच अवेयर अबाउट द एडमिशन सीकिंग पेरेंट्स. तो उन सब लोगों में these schools are very much famous. So like why I started up and why I wanted to do this was I wanted to solve the pain points of the schools and the parents. पेरेंट्स को सबसे बड़ा पेन पॉइंट क्या होता है कि जैसे वर्षा मैम ने भी बोला कि किस तरह की एजुकेशन स्कूल के अंदर हो रही है, वो उन्हें ट्रांसपेरेंट पिक्चर नहीं पता होती. उन्हें नहीं पता कि स्टूडेंट टीचर रेशियो क्या है. लाइक फैक्ट्स तो फिर भी पता होता है, फीस एंड एवरीथिंग ऑल ऑफ देम दे नो, बट दे डोंट नो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इनसाइड द स्कूल. हाउ इज द होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द किड इंश्योर्ड, हाउ इज the academics of the school, how are the teachers recruited, how stable is the staff, what is the vision of the principal, how is she leading the school, how is the curriculum. वो सारी चीजें हमें नहीं पता होती. तो जब मेरे भैया को अपने बच्चे का एडमिशन कराना, तो ही वाज वेरी कंफ्यूज्ड कि कौन से स्कूल में एडमिशन कराएं, so that because next 15 years will be very crucial for him or her to get into a school. And mostly जैसे मैं हर शो में कहता हूँ कि शर्मा जी के लड़के ने इस स्कूल में कराया है तो हम भी उस स्कूल में एडमिशन करा लेंगे, वो वाला एक साइकोलॉजी पेरेंट्स फॉलो करते हैं. एंड कई बार क्या होता है कि आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग कि वो स्कूल अच्छे हैं, बट वो 5-7 स्कूल्स हैं एक जगह पे, वहां पे एडमिशन बंद हो जाएंगे तो फिर इतने सारे स्कूल ऑप्शंस होते हैं कि आपको नहीं पता कि कौन से स्कूल में जाके आप कराओ एडमिशन. सो टू ब्रिंग दैट ट्रांसपेरेंट पिक्चर एज वेल एज टू हेल्प स्कूल्स to reach out to the admission seeking parents and get जो अब हर पेरेंट यूनिक है, हर स्कूल यूनिक है, तो हर पेरेंट के हिसाब से वो चीज करने के लिए आई स्टार्टेड अप विद दिस. सो एज यू टोल्ड कि मेरे फ्रेंड्स सब लोग बाहर जा रहे थे, लाइक दे वर गोइंग अब्रॉड फॉर स्टडीज, दे आर गोइंग अब्रॉड, दे आर गोइंग फॉर अब्रॉड जॉब्स, इंडिया में सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट जॉब, एंड दे आर पार्टिंग फॉर वीकेंड्स पे पार्टी कर रहे हैं सैटरडे संडेज में, वो सब चीजें हो रही है. सो but I didn't want to continue with that stream and I wanted to solve this problem. And till now I haven't earned anything. I have spent a lot from my pockets only, but still I am doing this because I am learning a lot, I am facing a lot of challenges, solving them, and building relationships with you all educated people, which I think will definitely help me improve myself in future.
All the best to you, and you're doing a wonderful job. You are bridging up the gap between the schools and the parents, and hopefully I see that it is spreading up in big cities, but gradually within few years it will move all over India.
Absolutely.
Like it was with Amazon and all, Flipkart, nobody was relying in the starting, but now every age person has started relying on that, and this is very comfortable. If you're going to buying, if you're going to buying anything in the market, electronic appliance, you can stand there for half an hour or 1 hour. You can't match them. Sitting at home, you can match up. Where you come up to any apps, and just you can order from there, and you're getting a discounted prices also because the mediators are not there. likewise, I think this thing is a very good platform. The parents who want to see the ends of the schools, they are not able to see. What probably you want to say is that parents are not able to see the ends when they come up. They only come up to the school's reception and they move from there. They are not allowed to move inside the school sometimes, and even they do not know the ins and outs of the schools. So this is basically when they come up to the platform, they are able to understand. They can compare themselves, and they can have a neutral, decision where the child should they should apply for. And that is the best part. And it is not wrong also, because it is helpful for the parents also, as well as for the schools also. I wish you all the best, Mayank, and hopefully my best wishes are, and all our best wishes are, you reach pan India. Welcome.
Thanks.
We'll come up to the next round of the show and won't call it as a question round, because we have a very learned people over here. A suggestion round. I'll come up to Hemlata ma'am. Ma'am, I'd like to ask your opinion on the saying that the future of education is technology based. We had seen that the students who had come before the pandemic and now they have come after the pandemic, they have come up with technology. So, what are your views on this topic?
So technology will always transform the content. Without technology, nowadays nothing is possible. See, COVID was one situation. Let me not try to tell it was pandemic. We learned a lot of adaptive way how to reach people, how to reach students, how to engage students. So many informative ideas we started creating while we were sitting at home also. So I try to tell us we are part and parcel alone of the technology. The reason is that without technology nowadays we cannot try to improvise or to try to do anything. So that way we will have to see to that students are learning technology, getting adapted. Nowadays the kids are smarter than this. As they try to teach us how to use one small Android phone, which is an example. They would give us more information how to get easier way to get connected on WhatsApp, or could be it is on the social medias which we are using. How interactive we can be, how informative we can be by the children itself. So if that is the case, future of education is always better along with the technology. Without technology, might we would try to tell there are few drawbacks, but drawbacks is not the consideration. We will have to move ahead. We are talking about artificial intelligence. We are talking about future 2020, 30. So we will have to see to that the leaders should be in the position to engage the qualitative methods of making children learn. So that's how it has to be seen to that the future of education is always very good with technology, sir.
So, ma'am, in one line, we can say that education becomes more easy with the use of technology for the children.
Very.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Charu, ma'am, will you add something into this?
Sure. So never before, like the corona has pushed us out of our comfort zones and told us that ICT is here to stay. It is not that it is a new concept. It was there, but we have moved ahead 20 years, if I have to say, in digitization of the education world with this corona times. Otherwise hum wahi ke wahi rahe hote. So that is one thing good that corona has brought. The kind of collaborative e-lessons, the Google Docs, collecting all the anecdotal records of the students in the Google platform. All these things have revolutionized the way we are collaborating. The teachers are like from one class to another, vertical, horizontal, all those collaborations. It is just marvelous. And the kind of self-paced learning that this brings with the quizzes and the platforms that are available, they were always there. It's not that they are now, but now we realize that yes, this is here to stay. A simple thing like a PTM, a parent-teacher meeting. Now my teacher says, ma'am, corona or not no corona, we are going to have our PTMs online only, because here the parent feels that it is one-on-one and it is all time bound. that you have given this time slot and it's there. So no that ego fighting, etc. Because if there is a queue outside for whatever reason, agar aapne time diya uske baad bhi there are few parents waiting outside, and if there is a parent inside, so ek wo ho jata hai ki mujhe dikhana hai kai baar parents ko, so that I am a better off, or that if the teacher is saying that this is not done, so that kind of ego hassles also are not there. So the PTMs have become very uh, fruitful that ways. So I'm 100% sure the research programs, the projects, the art-based learning, everything is going to be achieved better with collaborative efforts with digitization. It is here.
Fabulous, ma'am. Fabulous, ma'am. Fabulous. And now technology will remain forever, and it is a tool. It's a help which the teachers and as well as the students will, use it and get help from that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we'll come up to Meera ma'am. Meera ma'am, we say that now after the pandemic, the reopening of the schools have come up with new teaching norms. Please discuss some of them.
Thank you so much. I absolutely agree with what Charuji has just said, because, earlier we used to see that it's a textbook based learning and it was a one size fit all. आपको समझ आया तो ठीक है, नहीं समझ आया तो उसको शायद दूसरी बार समझा दिया जाएगा, but no extra effort will be made. Now you see everything is changed. Not only like your PTM is better, you could even have your classes recorded, like we are doing Microsoft Teams, so each and every session is recorded. The child can go and visit it again if there is a difficulty, or the child was on leave that day, bimar ho gaya, can go and visit it again. Plus we do a lot of flipped classrooms. You may want to give them a link or a reference or a research work before the class. So the pre-reading activity is now much more interesting. Like I said that I used to be strict with my +2. So if I ever asked them to read something and come, it was just a handful, 5 to 10 of them who would probably do it. But now when you give them a project and a research and they come back and they flip the role of the teacher and the learner. So I think there are so many things that we have learned where one day we did not know how to do this hybrid mode. One day we only knew what it is to have a smart classroom and to transact via a smart classroom. Next day onwards, lockdown, children at home. So now all the resources of the school remain in school. What do? You've got to reach out to them in such a way that you're speaking a language that they understand. So not only is it one size fit all has now gone away, teacher centric has also gone away. It is now student centric. And I would say that the self-paced learning that Charu ji just spoke about, it's very true. Because if you are listening to a recording of a webinar or your teacher's lesson or whatever, at one point you may even pause it, take a break and come back to it. So I think that the journey of the child is now more goal oriented, and the goal is not something that the educators are giving to the child. The goal is something that the child is setting for himself. So that way, I would say technology really aids us. Mr. Chandok, sometime back, someone had called me for a webinar asking me whether computers will ever replace teachers. And I was actually quite amused by it because I don't have that underconfidence. I'm fairly confident about the fact that my teachers, they taught me differently, but they taught me beautifully. And everything remains with me even now. We are changing and we are evolving with time. Does not mean that my role is under threat. It is not. My role is evolving. I cannot be a dinosaur. आपने एक दो बार एज की बात करी. I take pride in how much time I have spent in this, and it is no more my profession but my calling, something that I believe in. I take pride in it, and I still say that every day I'm learning something new. अभी Padlets हैं, quizzes हैं. You can reach out to the child for immediate response and immediate also your answer to that response. So the child gets immediate feedback. There is not only feedback, but there is feed forward also. So I think it's a beautiful journey. And with schools reopening, we have actually still got to do hybrid. There's no way that I can force each child to come into the school. The central government has left it to the state governments to decide whether they want to make parent consent compulsory or not. But in my area, parent consent is still needed. My 15 to 18-year-olds are doubly vaccinated, but the younger ones are not. And the primary school goers, their parents are fearful. Everyone would be. अपने बच्चे को लेते हो तो you do feel that. So they are fearful. They may not send the child in full numbers. They need some more confidence before they do so. And when they do so, till then, learning can't stop. The child's right to education remains. So technology will continue to aid us. Schools will reopen. They have reopened a number of times and again shut down, but we are evolving. If I've been able to answer.
Ma'am, fabulous, ma'am, fabulous. And we have to remain positive. Now the schools are not going to close down, whatever the situation is. And we are going to come up with the new norms with a hybrid. And even if the schools open, then also it will be a little hybrid because you will have to send your sheets. And we were not sending it through, this Google spreadsheet and all this. But now it will be hybrid again. As well as when you're talking about ages, ma'am, we never grow above 18. We are with the kids of age of 3 or say 2 to 18. We never grow up. So we are not growing above 18. After that, we don't know any counting, and we'll remain the same till we are in the schools, ma'am, for sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Varsha, ma'am, will come up to you, because when we are talking about new norms or we're talking about technology, one of the same thing. You are working with an IB board school, your international board school since starting. So you might be using it from the very starting. So you may not be feeling a much difference, but still there might be certain differences. So what differences you have felt, like you were in before the pandemic, normally you were dealing with the students, and now as of when you talk about pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Chandhok. I think Charu ma'am and Meera ma'am have very beautifully described the whole evolution of technology and what role it is playing in our school lives. We are an IB school, and most of our students from grade 5 onwards actually bring their own device. So from the very start, they are very used to engaging with machines, gadgets. But it was still a challenge because suddenly it was you use that in your classroom, but now you had to do everything via that gadget. And collaboration, which is key to any kind of IB format, I'm sure you're familiar with that. We work in a very collaborative mode. How was that possible suddenly, on these small screens? It felt very different because collaboration is like a life, human skill. You just need that interaction. So one of those was our biggest challenges. Of course, we all made the switch with our struggles, but in addition to what Charu ma'am and Meera ma'am have already said, of course, we went through that entire journey too. I think where we stand just now is where we are trying to weigh what is it that we want to take with us from this learning, from the pandemic, and what is it that we really now want to do with our face-to-face time, because suddenly it has new value, something that we missed for 2 years. And like Charu ma'am was saying, the teachers are so happy with your PTMs happening online because you can manage time better. So should that remain? And we move to other models in other kind of areas of learning and teaching. So we are actually thinking of when I am with my students in the class, now what is that looking like? Should the gadget be present there, not be present there? Should it be supporting the teaching and learning? So these are the conversations we are having. What has worked very well for us, and I'd like to share that, with the use of technology and learning from the pandemic, we've become very transparent about our assessments. In the IB, we can afford to do that, where we actually have conversations with our students and decide on the grade that the student gets. So there is no disappointment later. Students understand what is going on. Students know why they achieved what. And it's also about, like, Meera ma'am was saying, what is the feed forward? What is it that I need to do now to be able to up that? So, the conversation is shifting from the number to like, what do I do to be able to get that higher number? So we are trying to use this face-to-face time dedicated to that, because we think that's where we should be focusing our energy. Of course, the pluses of the Padlet. And I don't know if you all have explored Mural, which is such a beautiful collaborative tool. So we are still keeping all of that alive. Students, when they're working on their homework or collaborating from home, they are still using all those platforms. But that face-to-face time now suddenly seems new. It's that new normal. Like, what do I do sitting in a meeting? Because on Zoom, I could just, turn off my camera, do what I want, come back. But suddenly it's this new learning in face-to-face time. So we are trying to see how best to optimize that, in teacher to teacher situations as well as student teacher situations. So those norms, I think we are still establishing. We are not there yet. We are learning. And like I said, we want to optimize what we got from the pandemic, but then we also want to see how schooling has now changed post pandemic, and what does it mean to be on campus, and what is it that we need to do to optimize that time on campus.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing. A wonderful experience. You have a very different experience you have when you're working up with IB board, because the curriculum, the way of learning, like your gadgets were already allowed at some extent. They were being used, and now it had to be used 100%. That was a little difference. But still, IB board is, entirely different from all the boards. So, and the system it's very different. Thank you so much, ma'am, Pasha ma'am. We'll come up to Seher ma'am. Ma'am, we want to know your views on the saying that it is said that schools after reopening will have to face a lot of challenges. And one of the challenges, the mixed blend of teaching. When we are talking about any topic, ma'am, we are talking about the schools pan India. We're not talking about only our schools, because India is an agriculture country, and there are more than 55,000 villages in India. So how this mixed blend of learning, is going to make a change in the education, and how will people deal them?
Thank you, Mr. Chandok. Basically, we've just reopened. Delhi has just reopened. And if you see that the reopening has gone on the hybrid mode, because if I can tell you about my school, 25% children are coming on the offline mode, and the rest 75 are still in the online mode. They're not ready to come. The parents are not ready to send, because the pandemic is still there, it's still on. So to get an assurance from the school that yes, my child is going to be 100% safe, in spite of us taking a lot of safety measures and assuring the parents, this still is not happening. Parents are not ready. Even we had conducted 2 vaccination camps in which only 50% children turned out, the rest did not turn up. So at times you feel that we are talking about offline classes, online classes, a hybrid mode, but there are a lot of issues I've also seen that where there are a lot of plus, there are a lot of minus points. One is that
I think there's some.
Yeah, she'll come back. Don't worry, she'll come back. Yeah, there is some connectivity problem.
Yeah, glitch in the.
No issues by the time she gets back. Next, we'll come up to Mr. Mank, to you. You had been seeing that all the principals are talking about the hybrid reopening of the schools, as well as we are all talking about. Ma'am, you are there. Please
Yeah,
continue.
thank you.
Please continue.
Yes. So we are able to reach out to the parents where we want to know the progress of the child and why he or she is not studying, is not, performing. So that is the plus point about the hybrid or, the online or technology. But where the child is making an effort or not making an effort, that is also a big question mark, because these days there are so many technological devices that the marks that they were getting when it was not on the online mode, the offline mode, and it was the online scenario, they were getting very good marks. And later the children have also acknowledged and they have accepted. They say, yes ma'am, we had probably a tutor or Alexa helping them out, or even the Google Baba they named. So there's a big gap, a learning gap, that we all have to bridge while we are going to be reopening. And now the new session, it's almost the end of the session and the new session comes. So there's a lot of challenges that we have to face on, and we have to work with
Obviously,
them.
ma'am.
Yes,
Obviously, parents have to understand their children have got vaccinated. It is the high time. Final examination are almost there. At some places, they have started. They are on offline mode. If parents had been helping their children with the Google Baba, with the books to give their answers, they didn't
Oh, they
wanted
don't
their
need
best.
parents.
No,
They
no,
don't
they,
need parents.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
technology that they have, you know.
But they are aware of everything, ma'am. The parents are aware of everything. They don't want their base. They want that my child should get good marks, even by by Google Baba or something like Alexa. But they should understand, if they want their base of the children, they have to make the children get back to the school. Nothing will happen. They have got vaccinated. Even if they're not get got vaccinated, they should get vaccinated. Now again, a circular has come for students from
Yes.
12 to 15 again. The rest can get vaccinated, and the government is trying its its best level to get vaccinated to all the children. I think gradually it will come from 8 to 12 also. So it is better. Things are becoming normal, and it is a request to the parents. Mayank, you will be talking to the parents. Please request the parents that they should send their children to the schools, especially in Delhi, NCR, and wherever Mumbai and Pune and Bangalore, where the schools have started now. We have come up with the offline classes. We are not going with the mixed blend, and we are taking 100% exams offline. We have reduced the courses. We have given plenty of time. We have shifted the exams around 10-15 days more, and we are giving them time for the revision and all the things which they can come, because we know that in online classes you don't get much. So they have called them in the schools. We have given them time. We have reduced the syllabus that they should get a good result as well as value education also. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll come up to Mayank now. Mayank, you have heard about the hybrid. We have talked about the new norms. There are many parents who, as you told me, that you have sessions with the parents also. So what type of expectations are of the parents, and how do you deal with them?
ओके सो जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला था, एक्सपेक्टेशन ऐसी भी होती है कि हमारे बच्चे को मतलब ऐसा स्कूल बता दो कि उसका आईआईटी में एडमिशन हो जाए, कोई ऐसी मशीन बनी है तो वो बता दो। तो मैंने कहा ऐसी कोई मशीन तो नहीं बनी जिसमें आप कराओ तो आईआईटी में हो जाए। तो ऐसी एक्सपेक्टेशंस होती है। कई पेरेंट्स की एक्सपेक्टेशन जेन्युइन होती है कि जो स्कूल एकेडमिक्स में अच्छा हो, होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट में अच्छा हो, एक बैलेंस बना पाए। तो इस तरीके से अब, और सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है, कोविड के बाद चीजें ना काफी ट्रांसपेरेंट हो गई हैं। मतलब जूम क्लासेस के बाद क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन देखी लोगों ने, स्कूल्स कैसा पढ़ा रहे हैं वो देखा, एंड एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो हैं वो बहुत ड्रामेटिकली चेंज हो रही है। मतलब दे आर चेंजिंग वेरी क्विकली बिकॉज ऑफ 21st century shift is happening, because they know corporate world is coming up, skills are required. So the schools that are imparting skill based education are actually getting preference by schools and by parents actually. So I see that, I'm not saying कि ये best school है, ये best school है, but now parents are becoming very open minded. थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग वेरी क्विकली। अब वो वाली बात नहीं रही कि हमें सिर्फ इसी स्कूल में कराना है, इसी स्कूल का रिजल्ट अच्छा है तो हमें इस स्कूल में कराना है। अब पेरेंट्स 10 तरह के और फैक्टर्स देखने लगे हैं बिफोर फाइनलाइजिंग अ स्कूल फॉर देयर किड, एंड एज वेल एज अदर बोर्ड्स आर आल्सो कमिंग इनटू द पिक्चर लाइक सीबीएसई, आईबी बोर्ड, कैम्ब्रिज बोर्ड, आईसीएससी बोर्ड। सो वो सारे बोर्ड भी हमारे पिक्चर में आ रहे हैं। सो पहले बोर्ड चूज करते हैं पेरेंट, फिर दूसरी चीजें चूज करते हैं। तो पेरेंट्स आर बिकमिंग एजुकेटेड, मिलेनियल पेरेंट, जेन जी parents are coming up. They are considering 10 to 15 factors before deciding a school for their kid, as well as the leader of the school plays a very important role in their perspective. So they always wants to meet the principal of the school, see their vision, and also wants to understand about the teachers, and सबसे important, सब छोड़ दो तो सेफ्टी ऑफ द किड। अगर हमारा बच्चा स्कूल में जाएगा और हमें टेंशन नहीं होनी चाहिए अपने काम करते हुए कि बच्चा हमारा स्कूल में सेफ है, तो वो सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न होता है। तो उसके लिए मैं एक चेकलिस्ट पेरेंट्स को बताता हूँ कि स्कूल में सीसीटीवी कैमरास है या नहीं है, जीपीएस में बस ट्रैकिंग जीपीएस की है या नहीं है स्कूल के अंदर। अभी देखो सबसे ये सब छोड़ दो, अगर ये सब टेक्नोलॉजी वाली चीज, नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ कितना एडुकेटेड है, नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ कितना वेल मैनर्ड है, दैट आल्सो प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन डिसाइडिंग द सेफ्टी ऑफ द स्कूल, एज वेल एज जो स्कूल का वॉशरूम है या कुछ ऐसी चीजें करो, जब आप विजिट करने जाओ तो वॉशरूम विजिट करो, हाइजीन चेक करो स्कूल की। तो वो सारी चीजें हमें चेक करनी चाहिए एज अ पेरेंट टू डिसाइड ऑन द सेफ्टी फ्रंट एज वेल।
Fabulous, fabulous. So these are the points in ends which you are knowing and you are discussing with the parents. And obviously, when you talk about this to the parents, they say that this is the thing which you have to keep in mind. That's great. Thank you so much, man. We will come up to the next round as we are in shortage of time. I'll be needing a 1 minute answer from all of you. We'll come up to Hemlata ma'am. Hemlata ma'am, as we were saying that we are the leaders who are making the leaders. We are the principal makers. So as a leader, what does it takes to become a leader other wants to follow, according to you? Ma'am, you are on mute, ma'am.
Am I audible right now? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
A leader is one who knows the way, who shows the way, and makes the way to create another leader. Leadership qualities are that we should see to that there comes another leader. A simple technology I want to try to tell is that a story of a wolf. Wolf is one a type of animal where it makes its way to create its own leaders. The similar way, a leader should be very adaptive in it as well as be proactive, and regardless of the situation, he or she should help to the person who's there under him or her, that he creates another few more leaders. This is how it goes. So that way, because as the time was running short, I just want to conclude trying to tell leaders should have the qualities in such a way that he creates another 10 more leaders. Thank you.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing, ma'am. Amazing, ma'am. Charu, ma'am, what are your mantras about the saying that how should a leader be that others should follow them?
So I'll add on to Hemlata ma'am. And yes, the first thing, first and foremost, I would say the 4 C's. Like we say for students, there are the 4 C's of the 21st century. So similarly, 4 C's for a good leader should be: one is care. You have to be caring towards your team. Okay, collaborative. You should be able to collaborate with them, have a shared vision. So a leader himself has to be a visionary, but the vision that is created for taking the organization to the top should be a shared vision. So something similar we did at our school, creating a shared vision. And then celebrate. You have to celebrate small achievements of your team. And then it is not only celebration. You as leader has to be critical and corrective also. The leader does not have to shy away from giving some corrective measures, or telling their people that this is right, I think this should be done. So while doing a corrective measure, one thing the leader has to take care is that I started from care. So the leader has to take care that the self-esteem of the team members is not mellowed down. They always feel good in sharing, and whenever they get a feedback from a leader, even then they feel, okay, yes, this was missing and I should be adding to my skill. And when I say skill, the leader has to keep upskilling herself or himself. A leader who keeps upskilling himself will always inspire others. Okay, there will be a kind of wave in the school that my principal is or the leader is learning or getting into, like just saying about these corona times. It was not only my teachers who were learning the new platforms and the new strategies and the digital things. I also equally collaborated with them. So that
Amazing.
then they are there. And when I say corrective criticism, we have to give them a chance to learn from their mistakes. They should not be afraid of creating, like so many a times, because as ma'am said, a leader has to create new leaders. And how do you do that? By giving them a chance to perform. If I'm always there ki pehle main karungi, then they will never learn. So you have to give the responsibility. You are there as a backbone. They should know that the principal is there as a fallback option. If I falter, she will hold me. That kind of a thing. But you'll allow them to make mistakes, and that's how a leader would be able to create more.
Ma'am, in 2 lines, we can sum whatever you said. The other principle is what I said earlier. Also, is like a genie. Always somebody, any of the stakeholders coming up, either as a parent or a student or a teacher or management or government, we have to keep smiling face. And we have to say, kya hukam hai mere aaka? And even tsunami even comes, we have to keep our smiling face, and we have to show that attitude.
All is well, all is well.
All is well, as well as everything can be done. I am possible.
Yes.
So that is the mantra principle will have, because if you will have this attitude, even tsunami comes and you are saying not, so we can handle it. So there you cure up. It's just like a doctor. When you're saying this, okay, don't worry, everything will be fine. Nothing has happened. It will be a doctor that 50% or 80% of the cure will be done when you speak like this. As well as second thing, what important you said is that if you are giving instructions to the teacher only. It's not good. You should be supportive also. You should also help that how you can do this. And when the your staff sees that my principal, my leader is at my back as a backbone, they'll always feel confident and they'll work. This is how we have what we have learned when we were as a teacher, and this is the legacy we have to you move forward to our teachers. Thank you so much, Charu ma'am. Thank you so much. We'll come up to Meera ma'am. Meera ma'am, we know that with the reopening of schools, responsibility of administrators have also increased. In fact, I'll say responsibility of administrator only has increased, the principal, because principal, I said, is a genie. Everything has to be settled. Everything fine is of everyone, but if something is not fine, it is of principal. So, ma'am, what do you say about this? The responsibilities which have increased. Yeah.
That's okay. If we are the favorite punching bag, it's all right. The fact is that, all parents would expect, and we as administrators have got the conscience to see to it that the children have an access to safe and secure education. Therefore, the disinfecting and all the paraphernalia of that has to continue. We've got to ensure about social distancing and sanitizing and proper disinfectation of our buses, everything, all that will have to be done. Physical distancing during the sports period, no contact sports. You'll have to change the way you play your sport. Physical distancing during the cafeteria time, because you can't actually deprive the children of all this. But I think one aspect that we really need to pay attention to is how do we bridge the gap of these 2 years? I think all of us will have to take great care about bridging the gap, because they've not really had formal schooling for 2 years with this online mode. They'll need bridging sessions, and we'll have to identify their learning levels. I have seen the primary suffering a lot. Concentration spans, handwriting has suffered, the creative writing has suffered. It's not all that imaginative now. Also, you find that the writing speed is not there. You've got to improve their reading, their numeracy skills. So the fact is, see, even CBSE has started Manodarpan program, because mental health also has to be taken care of. The well-being of teachers as well as students have to be looked after. So while my school reopened on 14th February, again, I would say, because it had opened a number of times and closed. So it opened again. So we are looking into the socio-emotional, ethical learning of the children. We're following a robust sports curriculum. We're taking care of the mental health program and giving them avenues to express their creativity, their imagination, and also doing a lot of fine and performing arts, doing projects, practicals which they have missed out on because we were doing O labs. However, the feel of it is much more better in the practical classes. So these things will have to be taken care of. The emotional health of the child is very, very important. They must complete this year and continue to the next level without any interruption. So there'll need to be a little leniency as far as the expectations are concerned. So I was just also listening to Saherji, and she talked about the academic honesty part. So the fact is that academic honesty has suffered. So I think we'll have to be smarter, and we'll have to change our assessment style itself. So if we do that, and if we take care that more formative assessments take place for the rest of the year, that is, I'm sure we'll be able to do a good job. A Forbes study has said that blended learning is here to stay. So we'll have to move with the times.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing. You're absolutely right. And I second with the thought. Even everybody will second with the thought. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Varsha ma'am. Varsha ma'am, will you like to add something?
I think Meera ma'am has very beautifully highlighted the importance of mental well-being, and I think none of us here on the panel can underestimate what it's going to take all of us to address that, where students are concerned, also where teachers are concerned. And, Mr. Chandok, you said what responsibility has kind of changed or gone up. I would say just being a listener. I think more and more I'm realizing my teachers just want to come and talk. and it's not about what's going on in the classroom, but this is how I'm feeling overwhelmed. How do I deal with this? Their families are also a very integral part of their lives, so they are managing a lot of fronts at the same time. So I just feel that the whole day, it's like I put my work aside and you become that listener, and you're just listening to their stories, and they walk out feeling happy, and you of course feel tired because you're listening to so many stories and trying to digest all of that. But at the end of the day, you feel if they've been able to just feel lighthearted and exit your office, then I think that is what they need just now. So I think that's very important. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about the bridging the gap. I'll try to keep it short. I think there is a lot of debate on whether is this really learning loss? Do we need to redefine education? Is not knowing content defined as learning loss? How do we assess? So I think everybody is engaged in these conversations, and I just believe that what they were able to learn in these 2 years, and of course I deal with the secondary school, I understand primary was very difficult because parents had to be like sitting with them the entire day. But in the secondary school, I feel that the skills that we aim to teach or practice at school, resilience, patience, that's what this pandemic taught them. So I believe that we may have lost on certain aspects of teaching and learning, but I think we've also gained on skills that we had never imagined we would be able to acquire at that young of an age. So I think that's my 2 bits on this.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing. Wonderful thoughts. You have such a, a deep rooted knowledge of all these things, ma'am. Hats off to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Seher, ma'am. Seher, ma'am, as we know that before pandemic, what was the situation with the technology and what is now? And of course, in the whole session, we have come to understand that these are the tools. And being a tool, they cannot replace the teachers. But still, we say technology is a tool with the help of which teachers can become smart, and thus they can provide smart learning to the students. Because we see that students, when they are not attending the classes, the parents are saying, why are you not attending? They said, I'm not able to understand the teacher. Instead, I'll go to the YouTube channel, and there are different teachers who are teaching over there. The videos are there. I'll look into that. So what do you suggest to the teachers, how they have to become more smarter, that the students do attend their classes even after the schools get open, or even it's a hype?
No, Mr. Chandok, the teachers have become smart. What they were and what they are now, they are already smart. And children have also become smarter. If a teacher is 10 times smart, the student is 100 times smarter. Because I would say that during the pandemic, a lot of, whether it was the primary, the pre-primary, the middle school, or the seniors, they have found their own ways and means to adapt and adopt to technology also, and to learnings. What we are like, if you see, where we're talking about mental health and well-being of a child, safety, security measures, all these things now we've started adopting and adapting in our schools also. Like in the morning when our physical classrooms are on, so we started with yoga sessions, we started with Zumba, a variety of things to be given to the students, and as well as to the teacher, where you are more empathetic and a good listener and resilient. So all these things have to be nurtured and natured in our school environment, because to make a school environment conducive, that is the most important thing as of now. And where students are not going to be losing out, or like teachers have to adopt. We also have done TEPs, teacher enrichment programs, through technology, where initially we had those micro teaching classes during Saturdays or some non NIDW days. But now we did that, and we also did peer assessments, where teachers could re-evaluate themselves, and okay, this is how you need to teach, this is how you need to moderate and change your teaching methodologies. So this has happened, and when the peers have given and given them grades, it has been a very heartening session, a very fulfilling session for each one of us, where I as a leader am also there, the entire staff is there, the middle administrative group is also there. So that really brings a lot of thought into our teaching learning process these days. And that is what hybrid learning is all about. It's not only academics, it is everything. My art teacher collaborated with a lot of international artists, and he did a lot of things, the Doraemon, that Miss Payal, the Suzuka, he collaborated with her also, and then she came into the classrooms and she was talking with the children and interacting with the children. So technology has brought a lot of avenues for our children as well as for our staff. Now it is up to us. If we, everything has a good and a bad face to
How
it.
how we are going to
How
use
we
it,
adapt it, that matters.
that is more important. That
That's
is more important.
important in this
Tha-
current scenario.
Fabulous, ma'am. Fabulous, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Mm.
We'll come up to Mayank now. Mayank, please let us, in short, let us know about easy schooling and how you are highlighting the schools into that, and how are the parents using this app.
So thanks a lot everybody. So technology COVID की वजह से हमें काफी help हुआ because everybody has adapted to technology. So I think now parents are very much used to what they now are searching online. So they are searching for schools online very rapidly. So that's why a lot of parents are landing on our platform. So how we are highlighting schools is we are keeping virtual tour, we are putting facilities, we are putting all the images, we are putting the interviews of the principals. Like we have started a walk with the best schools, so we are taking 5 to 7 minutes interviews of the principals of the schools. So we're doing a lot of activities to actually bring a transparent picture of a school, what is happening inside to outside parents who are actually seeking admissions into the school, so that they make an informed choice before getting their child into that school. So this is what they are doing, and a parent can come at our portal, they can select schools which they want to apply to, and they can fill a single application form, upload all the documents online, make the payment online, and then their form will be submitted to the school automatically. They don't even need to visit the school to do that. Everything will be done online at our portal. So actually school is not going through any kind of a loss or something like that. So school is only gaining the number of applications that are being submitted through our portal to them. So almost all the schools which have been enrolled with us has gained almost 100% increase in the number of applications that they were receiving last year than this year. So multiple big brands like DPS, GD Goenka, and all those schools have been onboarded, and all the level of schools are with us and accepting online application for admissions through our portal. So this is how we are bridging the gap and helping each one of them through it.
The best thing which I understood while you were speaking is that a principal can reach the parents.
Right.
You are putting up something recording of 2 minutes or 5 minutes of a principal, because while admission also you cannot meet principals cannot meet all the the parents. Here the principal can reach to the parents, and the parents can understand them, and they can decide which school they want, as well as your platform has made it more easy for the parents to reach over there. And also the same thing we can say, you are bridging up the gap between the parents and the schools. All the best to you, and I think you will be reaching to pan India. All the best to you. Thank you so much, man. We are up to the last round of 5 to 10 minutes, last round, another surprise round. Whosoever is coming on the show has to sing 2 lines. Anything original. It can be devotional, it can be patriotic, anything. Because Hemlata ma'am is the first speaker. So Hemlata ma'am, anything original language, ma'am, you will inspire us, and everybody will follow you on this.
ಕಲಿತ ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಹಾಳಾಗದು means to say whatever we learn will never go for waste. So I would try to tell is that ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಗೌರವ ನಮ್ಮ ಘನತೆ means to say our state, our pride and our nation is all is required in unity and integrity. That's what I meant in Kannada.
Thank you so much, Himlata ma'am. But it was not a proper song, although, but it was interesting, and we liked that in Kannada you spoke. Meenu ma'am, will you like to be the second one? Although you are the first one, ma'am. Right now in my screen, you are the first one, ma'am. Meenu ma'am. 2 lines, any song, any filmy. You see, we say that we don't grow above 18, and there's a child in in everybody's heart. We are child by heart. So it's a get together of the principals on the weekend where we are knowing each other. We are discussing about the topic, and at the end of the session, before saying bye, we have to have a little entertainment, ma'am. And nobody's a good singer, ma'am, please.
Well, I'm fond of music, more the listening type. If you'd kept me last, it would have been easier on the others.
Ma'am, everybody is at least a bathroom singer, ma'am. Everybody sings.
वही तो कह रही हूँ that.
And mind it, after singing here, everybody will be singing till night. If जितने भी songs आते हैं सबके mind में आएंगे मैं ये गा सकती थी, मैं वो गा सकती थी, या गा सकता
So
था.
what, you're
For
not giving,
sure, this is human nature, ma'am. This is
you're
human nature.
not giving anyone an avenue to leave. Matlab, you're putting me in the middle, so I think they'll
Ma'am,
have to
actually,
be fair.
if I'll reveal this part of session to everyone, nobody will be joining because of shyness. See, when you are pushing up your teacher on Teachers' Day that you have to do this, and the teacher has to do it, no other way is left. So this is karma. You are getting up to the same. You have to do this now. You can't move anywhere. आप आते अपनी मर्जी से है, लेकिन आप जाएंगे हमारी मर्जी से. But before sing, you have to sing 2 lines.
No problems. I'll do that. मैं सिर्फ दूसरों के लिए थोड़ा सा सोच रही थी. It's okay. They'll have to bear me. So there's no message in my song, just something that I like to listen to.
We don't need message, ma'am. Message already has been informed in the session.
जिक्र होता है जब कयामत का, तेरे जलवों की बात होती है. तू जो चाहे तो दिन निकलता है, तू जो चाहे तो रात होती है.
Beautiful, ma'am. Beautiful,
You
beautiful.
set the bar too high now.
Wonderful singer, ma'am. Charu, ma'am. Then Seher, ma'am, and then this Varsha, ma'am. Please
बाकी
get
सबको
ready.
आप चांस दे रहे हो. अच्छा, स्कूल की प्रेयर ही याद आ रही है सुन. हमको उजालों की ले चलो,
बोलो अपनी नानू बात करते हैं, चुप बैठो, आवाज नहीं करना.
उजालों की ओर ले चलो, जिसमें ना हो तम के साए, जिस पे ना हो तम के साए, उस राह पर हमें ले चलो, हमको उजालों की ओर ले चलो, जिस जगह पे सूरज. अब आपको सुनना पड़ेगा.
नहीं मैम, आप सुनाइए प्लीज.
सूरज पहुंचे ना हर ओर तिमिर का वास हो, आशा के तारों से रोशन नया विश्वास हो, वहां धूप उजाला ले आए, वहां धूप उजाला ले आए, उस ओर भोर ले चलो हमको. ठीक है.
Amazing, ma'am, amazing. You got the singer of the day, ma'am. You made our weekend.
हाँ, तो इसका प्राइज
For sure. Varsha ma'am, don't clap. You'll also have to sing.
अच्छा
हाँ, तो
चंदोक जी,
सहर
I'm
मैम
like, दिल्ली वाले बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं, बम्बई वाले इतना अच्छा नहीं गाते.
मैम, आप तो जर्मनी से होके मुंबई आ गई मैम, इंडिया से जाके. आप तो जर्मनी में भी गा सकती है. You can sing in that also, ma'am. We will allow you. There, ma'am.
Yes, Chandok sir, but you know I had a sore throat past 1 week.
That, ma'am.
But
जब गाने की बारी आती है.
anyways, कर लेते हैं
Yes, ma'am.
कोशिश
Yes,
फिर से. So I still remember I was very fond of this song. दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरी मन की भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा. Thank you.
We have so many good singers over here, and every session I'm getting so much singers. That we should have Indian Idol session. Indian Idol only for the principals. The only contestant will be the principal, and we'll surely find out a very good singer at the end who will be in Mumbai with Varsha ma'am to sing over there. And Varsha ma'am, maybe she gets selected now. Ma'am, over to you. Varsha ma'am.
Okay, only 2 lines, and it's just about the child in me, keeping that alive. नन्ना मुन्ना राही हूँ, देश का सिपाही हूँ, बोलो मेरे संग जय हिंद जय हिंद जय हिंद. So that way we can end it on a good note. Thank you.
That's great, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. Fabulous, fabulous. Had a wonderful time with you all, and it's a pleasure.
ऐसे
Varsha
नहीं
ma'am.
होगा, अब आपको गाना
Why are we
गाना पड़ेगा,
giving
you
both of
cannot
you?
leave.
I
आप
think
तो अब
Mayank
गा
should also be
हाँ,
given
right.
a platform and
Mayank,
answer.
you have
do
never
like that.
sung, Mayank. Now you have got today.
नहीं
Both
नहीं,
of you
Mayank-
should
have to
also, not
sing.
ladies first always. Huh?
मतलब ये तो मुझे वो लग रहा है, एक मूवी थी उसमें वो मजाक, उसको इसी में आपके मजे लगते थे सबकी, सबका मजाक उड़ाने के.
No, ma'am, मजाक नहीं. No, not at all.
नाले तो आपका होगा मिस्टर चंदोक. अभी मयंक, उसके बाद आप.
नहीं पहले
Sure,
चंदू सर,
okay,
फिर
ma'am.
मैं बोलूंगा.
Okay. Well, I'm caught today. I have never been caught today. I've been caught. This is about the smart administrators. आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता दो, पल जो ये जाने वाला है. हो आने वाला पल जाने वाला है. थैंक यू.
Wonderful, wonderful.
मारनी पड़ेगी, स्क्रीन के अंदर से मारनी पड़ सकती. दैट इज व्हाई आई सक.
And Mayank,
Mayank, it's your
last,
turn now.
Mayank.
You can't get rid of.
Mayank अपना
आज
गला
नहीं बच पाओगे.
मैं नहीं सिंग कर पाऊंगा क्योंकि आप सब इतने एक्सपीरियंस अच्छे प्रिंसिपल्स. मैं सिंग करूंगा तो आप मेरे को कभी स्कूल में बुलाओगे नहीं.
नहीं, आप ये स्कूल में तभी बुलाएंगे जब तुम गाना गाओगे.
नहीं मुझे.
Am I right? All the principals, am I right? When he'll sing only then we'll call. देखो थंब मिल गया सबसे. सबने बुला लिया मंडे को तुम्हें. लेकिन you have to sing 2 lines.
तो मेरे को गाना नहीं पता कौन सा गाना चाहिए
मुझे भी नहीं पता था.
आई एम ब्लैंक. मुझे लगा था सरप्रीत सर हर बार मुझे छोड़ देते हैं, इस बार भी छोड़ते हैं.
Any song you sung for your girlfriend?
नहीं मेरे को
If you don't remember any, or your school, poem, anything you remember.
कुछ
Religious you might not be remembering.
कुछ याद नहीं आ रहा मुझे.
अरे कमाल है.
कमाल है.
कमाल है.
Mayank, we were also not prepared for this.
हाँ, हमें तो पकड़
चलो,
लिया.
we'll give you time to think. मैं एक शेर बोलना चाहूंगी.
बोलो,
अर्ज
बोलो.
करने. It's a very known CMS. Dr. Gandhi used to say a lot, and we all remembered, and that's why I remember this vividly. नजर नजर में उतरना कमाल नहीं, नफस नफस में उतरो तो कमाल है, बुलंदियों पे पहुंचना कमाल नहीं, बुलंदियों पे ठहरना कमाल है.
वाह. हमें absolutely right. Perfect thing it is. You can reach, but how do you maintain it? That is more important and difficult also. That is for sure. Mayank, Sahir ma'am has supported you, and you have got time now, and we know that you have so many songs to sing. You sing one only.
ठीक है. तो
Only 2 lines.
एक मूवी आई थी, काफी फेमस हुई थी वो, उसकी पुष्पा. अगर आप सबने किसी ने देखी हो तो उसका एक सॉन्ग है, मतलब नजर मिलते ही नजरों से नजरों को चुराए, कैसी ये हया तेरी जो तू पलकों को झुकाए, रब जो पोशीदा है
गाना है उसे.
गाना कहाँ है?
गाना है उसे.
If you sing like this for someone, तो she'll run away.
तो अभी तक मेरी शादी नहीं हुई.
आपको हमने कभी मूवी सुनी है? हम सब 25 साल के एक्सपीरियंस के बात कर रहे हैं. हमने तो पुष्पा के नाम नहीं सुना. एक तो ऊपर से आप गा नहीं रहे हैं. चलिए अभी गाइए आप उसे.
सबसे पहले मीरा मैम ने अब बोला अब आपको गाना पड़ेगा. मीनू मैम ने, सॉरी.
नजरें मिलते ही नजरों से नजरों को चुराए, कैसे ये हया तेरी जो तू पलकों को झुकाए. नहीं हो पाएगा.
It will take some time, but you will get married now because you are improving.
Now work on Ratya Lambiya Lambiya wala, है ना? You work on that and you'll definitely get a girlfriend.
He straight away get married because he's busy up with this work, helping us. And Mayank, thank you so much, and it's the best wishes from all of us that you grow up and your company and you reach Pan India. You are welcome in UP to Kanpur. When you will be coming up to Kanpur, my first school will be the school to associate with you for sure. And I'll bring 20 more schools along with me to coordinate, because I feel like Mayank had sometimes studied in our school around 10, 15 years back, and he's up to help us and support us. And I think every one of us should support him. But I will for sure support him when he comes to Kanpur. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Minu ma'am. Thank you, Charu ma'am. Thank you, Varsha ma'am. Sair ma'am. Thank you, Hamlata ma'am. Thank you, Mayank sir. I hope you all enjoyed, and hope to see you in some other session again very soon.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thank
is
you.
all ours. And the last bit was really enjoyable after
Thank you
long
so much,
time.
ma'am. And that is the difference of the show. The best of the best, the principal makers are over here in this show always, as well as we have different concept. It's a get together of the principals and at the weekend. Have a happy weekend.
Lovely
and
meeting
have a
all.
happy
I hope we will connect.
Yeah, sure. We'll get connected. All of us will get connected. Thank you.
Great to
Okay,
meet
bye-bye.
everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you.